Welcome to the Own It Studio, brought to you by Infinite Real Estate Group. Our sponsor today is Edge Homes, the buying consultation expert, Keagan Mataele. Welcome. All right, Keagan, thank you for being here today.
That was hands down the best podcast intro I have ever heard in my life.
Dude, I was
Not for me, just in general.
Dude, I was caught off guard.
That was amazing.
I just made it up on the spot.
like all on the
Beautiful.
go. That was incredible.
All right. Well, no, in all seriousness, we want to talk today about our buyer's consultations. So all you agents out there that might be struggling on converting your buyers and especially dealing with this market and the shifts that we're having and, you know, the interest rates are too high, prices are too high, I'm waiting for the market to crash. Our special guest, Keagan, has got the answers. I mean, I have watched this guy for a couple of years now just slay it in the new build industry. And we're honored to have him here to talk us through a lot about what he does to convert clients and to, you know, keep them happy, because he always has a ton of Raven fans, not only as clients, but as real estate agents too. And so we're super excited to have you here and learn from you. And I know Chad especially is excited to get some information because for some reason he can't keep a contract.
That's funny, Jared.
Where's the laugh track?
Yeah, well, with that being said, as a side note, Keagan has gone over this consultation with me. We kind of role-played it the other day together. And might I add, he does it differently than I've seen anyone do it, differently than I've ever done it. And he really knows how to meet with a buyer, pull out their needs, pull out their wants in a home, and he really knows how to attack those and really convert them into really a stronger lead and ultimately get them to purchase a home. So I'm excited to hear it again today. Welcome, Keagan.
Well, thank you. That was, again, quite an introduction. Yeah, Chad and I had a good conversation the other day, and I do think this comes from having a software background. So in software, like software sales, I should say, you do something called the discovery call. And basically,
The discovery call.
yeah, so the very first appointment is just asking questions, just trying to better understand like who your client is and really see where they're at. And sorry, I'm gonna adjust here. So yeah, just getting a better understanding of where they're at. And there is no intent to sell anything or push an agenda or try and like lead them with questions down a certain path. It's just called just discovery. I just want to know where you're at, what you're doing. So when I had noticed during my career in software, when I was like flipping houses with my wife and stuff, I never had a realtor sit us down and kind of go through a situation like that. Oh, my mic just got quiet. Are we still good? Okay. I had never seen any realtor do that. And I was always curious as to why. And to be honest, it kind of bugged me because I felt like with each new realtor I tried out, I was like, yeah, you know, we're looking for a new home. And it was like, let's go look at some homes, which is great. Like, if that's what I want to do. But I think it just is, it comes across as more professional, taking the time to be like, okay, we will go look at homes. However, I want to take some time to better understand your situation, see what you're looking for. I look at homes constantly, and I am sure that if I take the time to put myself in your shoes, it'll be easier for me to find something that fits your needs. And so I can be more attentive to what you're looking for.
I like that. Yeah, no, I think that's something that Keagan has always emphasized, the buyer consultation, right? Don't get excited and skip to go into homes. Don't get excited and skip over the important part of building trust with your client and understanding truly what they need and where they're coming from. Be patient, do the buyer's consultation, just you and them, no lender, no going out and seeing homes. Take 30 minutes to an hour, sit down with them and really get to know them and what they need, and how that can be a huge selling point in the buying process.
I mean, yeah, that's a huge thing. I mean, we're really big on our buyers' consultations, but we're always looking to polish them and make them better. And that's one thing that, you know, like we've seen from you, Keagan. And I mean, what I'd like to do, I mean, I'm just thinking about it from that point, and it just makes complete sense when you say, like, well, I need to put myself into their shoes. I mean, you wouldn't show up at a car dealership and say, I'm looking to buy a car, and me as a salesman just says, well, let me know which one you like, and I'll be happy to write it up for you. Like,
Right.
it just makes no sense. Like,
Right.
we want to educate them. We want to talk to them. And there's so much information getting thrown at them when it comes to algorithms and stuff. When they start looking for homes and they start showing interest in it, they start getting flooded with everything. And it can be very confusing to them. And so sitting down with them and getting that consultation in place is a powerful thing. So I'd like to go through some of that if you guys are okay with it.
Yeah, of course. The other thing I was going to add really quick too, I think sales and business in general is like you want to be able to stand out. You want to be able to, be different than others in your field.
The other 20,000 realtors in the state of Utah.
Right. Well, but like using the car dealership analogy, or like really anytime you go to buy anything, I just feel like when someone sits me down and they say, hey, before we just dive into this, like there's a process behind this and this is kind of how we operate, yada, yada, yada. I feel like it comes across as much more professional. And I feel like realtors are kind of like, they complain a lot about, this buyer texted me and they're driving to this city to look at this property right now. And they're asking if I can meet them there. And so they drop everything and just go look at it, which I understand, like, you don't want to lose the client. But I do feel like starting off with a discovery appointment and setting expectations from the get-go will make your life as an agent so much easier, because most realtors don't set expectations. They don't do these consultations to this extent. And that's why their buyers kind of walk all over them.
And maybe, we'll go over this when we role play this, but expectations as far as like what kind of expectations?
So like for me, something I've learned recently is I don't have a problem letting my clients know, like, hey, if you try to contact me on a Sunday or after 7 p.m., I'm not going to answer. Like I work a lot. I'm really good at what I do. And I don't feel that there's really ever any urgency outside of that. Now, if it's a true emergency, absolutely. I'm there to help out. But most of the time it's not. So if you call me after hours, I promise I'll get back to you the next day.
I love that.
I have go ahead.
Sorry, I'm really good at what I do.
What do you,
I like how you said that. I'm really good at what I do. I promise, like, if I'm available, I'll get back to you, but I'm not answering from this time to this time. Sundays are my day off. Don't bother me. I mean, don't say that.
I mean, that's just setting expectations,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because, I mean, like, at the end of the day, like, you're not going to want to work with somebody that doesn't respect you and your family time and everything else either. And setting those expectations, I mean, it's same as you. I've never had anybody balk at me not answering their phone or something, as long as I'm setting the expectation that, hey, from 7 p.m. on, that's my family time.
Yeah.
And if it's an emergency, I'll do my best to answer it. But other than that, just leave me a message, send me a text. I'll make sure you're taken care of first thing in the morning.
Well, and I think if you have a client that says, if you can't be available for me 24/7, I don't want to work with you, I would say, fantastic. That is not the client I want to work with. I will let the realtor that is desperate for leads and is scraping to go take that client and waste half their time running from home to home that the client's not going to buy anyway. And it's the same thing, like when I go to do a buyer's consultation, like when I worked in the model home, if they would walk up and they're like, we just want to look around, I would press them like, we have a lot of inventory, we have a lot of options. It's going to save you a lot of time if I can ask some questions, because then I can narrow down the answers for you. And if they're still, no, I don't want to do that, they're not a real buyer. They're not actually interested.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think like the way that we talked about it at Edge was, it's my house. Like this is my house that you're coming into. You're going to play by my rules. And I think it's the same thing as an agent. This is my business that you're walking into the front door of. Like we're on Main Street, right? How many of these stores can you go? I mean, I don't know what the hours are, but let's pretend they all close at 5. Banks, for example. How many bankers can you call at 6:30 p.m. to like withdraw some money out of your checking account? None.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why in real estate is it different? I don't think it should be. And I think that, again, so I'm kind of going a little bit of a tangent, but just
I like it.
But yeah, the point of setting that expectation of how you treat your client from the beginning just sets the pace for the whole thing.
Yeah. I really like that because I think, well, I know that when I first started, I was definitely like, oh, you're my client. I'll do anything and everything for you, which I still do to an extent. But I was too scared to be upfront with people and let them know, like, hey, here's how I do business. And these are my, like, I want to set these expectations with you. I felt like as if I wasn't valuable enough to them to do that. But over time, I've learned, hey, you know, like what I do is valuable. I am good at what I do too. So let's set these expectations. And yeah, if we've, you know, now if we find a buyer messing around with us, we just let them know, like, hey, sorry, this couldn't work out. This relationship couldn't work out between us. Sorry, we weren't a good fit.
Yeah.
I encourage you to reach out to someone else to help you because this just won't work for us.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, they're coming to you as a professional in real estate.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
means set the expectations because they have come to you and have put their trust into you to help them buy the largest asset that they're probably ever going
Right.
to purchase. And so, I mean, that's one thing I think we forget is because, especially when you got agents that aren't really high producers and stuff, we kind of feel like we're going to lose a job if we say something wrong.
Yep.
But when we set the expectation and we tell them that where we're going, you know, how it's going to be, what we're going to do, and, you know, what's going to kind of take place, they thrive off of that because they have come to you as a professional.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now too, if you get good at doing that buyer's consultation of doing a discovery, and say they hate it, say they feel it's a waste of time, I guarantee you they go to the next agent who goes, let's go look at some homes, and he's showing them stuff that is not in the criteria of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They will be like, man, that Chad guy was actually pretty good. Like, it's just a different vibe that they'll get, and then chances are they'll probably come back. I've seen it happen multiple times.
And
I like it.
my favorite question, especially as I'm dealing with with clients that are out looking at homes, and especially during open houses and stuff, where you are seeing a lot of buyers come in. You know, we'll always ask them if they have an agent that they're working with and stuff, and a lot of times they'll be, I don't know. My favorite question to ask somebody that's kind of been jumping from agent to agent is, has anybody ever sat down and, you know, done a buyer's consultation with you? A lot of times they'll be like, well, what's that? I'm like, well, this is where it's kind of it's a discovery call. We want them, or I like to do them in person personally, just because
Yeah,
I like
same.
to, you know, get the vibe, their personalities and stuff. But it allows us to really see if we're a good fit to work with each other, set some expectations, and let you know what I'm going to do to take care of you, because you are hiring me as an agent to find that home.
Well, I think the other thing too is, generally speaking, in sales, most people are expecting you to be fast paced. Let's get this deal done. Let's make it happen type thing. And being able to slow that pace down will calm your buyers also. And so by taking a slower pace, like we talked about, I mean, we'll probably get into this later too, but after you're showing a home, going through and doing another discovery with them. What did you like about this home? Why did you like this? Why did you not like that? You mentioned this was important to you. This was something that wasn't important to you before. What changed? And understanding, once you can understand their thinking, then that's when they get the best experience that you can offer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I guess like kind of diving into it more. So I would say that my approach with the discovery meeting is a mix of, so Jeff Shore has a thing called the 4-2 formula that I really like. And it's kind of a spin-off of that, as well as just the discovery questions that I've learned, or tactics and styles that I've used in software. One of my favorite being, there's just this book called The Challenger Sale. And it's just that there's different types of salespeople, and the Challenger is arguably the best one. And I like to think of myself as someone who strives to be like a challenger. And again, we can go into that later too. But the first question, typically I will ask, like, you get to know a little bit, like Jeff Shore calls it coffee talk, 2 minutes. And the idea is that within the first 2 minutes, you get them to like you enough, or to build a good enough connection that you could ask them to coffee and it wouldn't be weird. Right? So once you get past that point, the first question I ask is one of his. I just go, okay. Well, I guess leading into it, I say, okay, so I just like to ask a few questions to better understand what you're looking for, so I can offer you like the best service possible. And I'll say, and I ask a lot of why questions as well. And it's just purely me trying to understand, right? It's like, so do you mind if I ask a couple questions? They just say, no, that's fine. And I go, okay, cool. First easy question. Why are you moving?
Oh,
What's your intention?
What's your intention? Why are you moving? And I think it's a good one because the key is to have open-ended questions. So avoiding yes, no answers. Why are you moving? Well, I'm looking for a new job. We're getting a divorce. We feel we don't have enough space in our house. Yada, yada, yada. So that's kind of like step one. And then the next question I'll move into is, okay, talk to me about where you live right now. What are some things you like about your current home? And I like to start with that because I don't know what it is in sales, but I just in talking with people, when you ask someone a question like that, where it's a positive lead, I promise you they will always come back with something negative. I don't like to start off with a negative because I don't want to be a negative person. Because you can ask like, well, you're obviously moving because you hate, like, what don't you like about your house? People naturally get defensive. No, we like our house. And then it just leaves that door, like almost shuts the door. Whereas, well, tell me what you love about your house. And oftentimes it's like, well, you know what? We really love how big our master closet is. And then in your head, kid, boom, I need to find a big master closet. But then talking more about it. Why is the big master closet important to you? Oh, well, my wife has a ton of shoes. Oh, really? That's interesting. So, like, how many pairs of shoes do you have? Oh, I have 120 pairs. Wow, why so many shoes? Oh, well, when I was a little girl, I was in fashion shows and yada, yada, yada. I don't know. Like, you always want to go deeper and define kind of like what's tied to these.
Right. We always call it digging 3 questions deep.
That's great. Yeah. I love that.
Because a lot of times they'll, like, let's just take a simple question like, are you looking to buy right now? And they're like, no, I'm just looking. Like, to me, just looking is just an objection. It's just a defense. We want to know, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about that. What got you looking?
Yeah.
Like, what got you doing that? And then like, oh, well, we might be having, our kids, we're deciding to have kids and blah, 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 and we think we might need a bigger house. Well, tell me more about that. How's that, like, start digging deeper into what they're doing. For one, it builds trust because it shows that
you care.
You're caring, you're listening. And then 2, I mean, like I said, the trust gets built instantly when they start sharing details about their life.
And I think, like, kind of like I mentioned earlier, that really is the key to showing that sincerity, is not having in the back of your mind an agenda as to where you lead them. You're just truly, genuinely wanting to know, right?
Right.
Why are you looking, or what got you looking? And I remember another question that I asked with you the other day when I asked, like, why are you moving? And then it goes into, so I'm just curious. Sometimes people have like this aha moment, like they bump their knee on the dishwasher, or they go to put some laundry away and they hit something and they go, I need to move. Did you have anything like that? And then sometimes there's a really funny story. Sometimes like, no, we just felt like doing it. But the best part is there's a funny story. It gives you more opportunities to ask questions, get more involved, and just build that trust.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I like it.
Well, do you want to go through some role playing?
Yeah,
Chad?
why don't we jump into this?
I mean, I was listening to him the other day, and I mean, it's always fascinating to hear different people's angles and expertise and experience on role playing, because I mean, I'm very different than Keagan, and Chad's heard enough from me, ever since he was new here in real estate. I've been coaching him and he's been doing great. But he has been a little stuck on something. And so to hear some advice from somebody else that is also slaying it in the market can be very valuable. Yeah.
And I will just say before we jump into this role play that one of the things I struggled with was it depended on the client for me, and I'm still working on this, having more genuine conversations with people. But I learned that asking more questions and being genuine behind those questions can really help spark those genuine conversations. And I'd always get caught up in my head, oh, what questions do I ask someone? I run out of questions to ask. And it's not, you don't need to be asking different questions is what I learned from this. It's all you need to really ask is why And again, with being genuine, why, and tell me more about that. And that creates more conversation than you can imagine. So I'm excited to dive into this with Keagan. Keagan will be the real estate agent, and I will be Chad Morgan.
Very nice. Chad Morgan buying his first home.
Yes, buying my first home.
All right, so we'll just pretend that we've already done a little coffee talk. So, okay, Chad. Well, awesome. So I'm a little bit different. Something I like to do when I first meet someone is I really like to dive in and ask some questions. The intent behind that is I want to better understand you and your situation, what you're looking for, because I look at houses all day, every day. I see stuff that's on the market, off market, yada, yada. So if I can put myself in your shoes, and then when I look at these houses, I can go, that's the house for Chad. And then we can go set an appointment, go walk through it. So do you mind if I just take a few minutes and ask some questions?
No, that sounds great.
Okay. First, easy one. Why are you moving?
Me and my wife, we're just, we're going to be first-time home buyers. We're outgrowing our apartment. We're having, we have a kid. We have another kid on the way. We're just definitely, it's that phase of life. We're ready to buy our first home together.
That's awesome. So I think I have an answer to this, but I just like to ask just because I'm curious. Was there a specific, like sometimes when I meet with people, there's like a specific event that happens where they're like, okay, I can't live here anymore. Or like, okay, it's time to start looking for a house. Did something like that happen with you guys?
Well, yeah, maybe my wife could tell you more about this, but I think I was at work one day and she was walking around and cleaning up some toys. And she just realized, like, the place was a mess, and there were toys everywhere. She was really overwhelmed. She's like, man, we don't have a place for our kids to hang out. Like, we're stuck in this apartment. We have a kid. Like, we want more space. We want room to grow. Okay. We don't want our toys on the film. Like, I'd like a playroom for my kid,
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of part of it for sure. But, she came and talked to me about it, and I'd say that's probably why we're here today, is we definitely are just ready to move forward.
No, that's awesome. And congrats on having a kid. That's super exciting. You stoked?
Thanks. Oh, yeah, we are super stoked. Second child on the way.
That's crazy. Yeah, we have two as well, and they are right. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, they're cute. They're fun together, but sometimes they get crazy. So buckle up.
Yeah, one's enough. So we're excited to see what 2 has to bring.
That's cool. And then just so you know, too, I like to also ask a lot of why questions because it just helps me kind of get into Chad's shoes. So there's a couple things you mentioned I kind of want to dive in a little bit deeper on. So you mentioned the playroom having kids, right? And then you mentioned space, there not being enough. So I'll start with the space. Like, why? Outside of seeing the playroom stuff, or I don't know if you have your own opinions about the space and where you currently live.
Yeah, it's just obviously too small for us.
Okay.
So that would be the biggest factor.
What defines too small? Walk me through that.
I mean, family of 3, about to be 4, and a 1-bedroom apartment is just not working out.
Okay. 1-bedroom apartment. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we've been there for a while now. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We just figure we rent, save some money for a down payment.
Yeah. That's cool. How's it been going?
Good. We think we're ready. So,
sweet.
We saved the money up, but definitely outgrown that space.
So you guys have been going at this for a while, like kind of having a plan of moving towards this, but it wasn't until recently.
Yeah, we didn't think it's been several years. We didn't think we'd make it this far, but here we are. So,
dude, that's awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Does it feel good?
Yeah, feels great.
Good.
We're excited.
Good. That's amazing. Okay, well, let's talk more about where you currently live. So, if there's anything that you could, or is there anything if you could pick it up and move it into your new house that you would, like anything you love about where you currently live?
At least the 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
The kitchen, I mean, it is like it's a 1-bedroom, but it's newer.
Okay.
So it's clean. We're not saying what we buy has to be brand new, and completely updated, but we definitely like a clean space.
Okay.
My wife is definitely a clean freak, so she'd hate going into
like a horror
space
house.
that wasn't taken care of well. And yeah, the kitchen has a good amount of cabinets and a nice like island and stuff. So we like that about it. Definitely need some cabinet space.
Okay, so that's interesting. You said there's a good amount of cabinet space, but you definitely need cabinet space. Which one
Yeah,
is it?
we have. That's what we'd like to continue on to
Okay.
take with us to the next home.
So no less cabinets than what you have right now.
Yeah, probably not. No,
Okay.
we got a pantry too, so that'd be nice.
Okay.
Or extra cabinets to make up for that space.
So there's cabinets that currently aren't being used.
I mean, no, we basically used up just about every cabinet,
Oh, okay, cool.
and the pantry's pretty full too. So
Okay.
we definitely need at least that. We'd like to take that with us.
Okay. What else about the space is tough right now?
Let's see. Other than the 1 bedroom, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it's 1 bathroom as well. So
Okay.
one vanity for the 3 of us. I mean, our kid's pretty young, but it's still a lot of people in 1 bathroom. So
Yeah. What's fun?
that would be-
Well, it just reminds me of the first house I bought with my wife. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. This is a long time ago. And it was always funny for us when we would have guests over, like having
Yeah.
to share their bathroom because the
Oh,
bathroom
yeah.
wasn't in our master. It was like in the middle of the 2
Yeah.
bedrooms.
Yeah,
So-
we definitely like.
Everyone's scrambling to get that bathroom
Yeah,
clean before
especially-
guests show up.
Especially with 1 bedroom, like we hardly have people over, and no one's staying at our house. When we have family coming through, they're staying with other family or staying in a hotel. So yeah, we'd like to maybe be able to host some people as well.
Okay, cool. Again, why? Why is that important to you?
I mean, family's family, right?
Sure.
You want to be able to give them a place they can, a home away from home because I mean, I do have some family here, but I have a lot of family that travels between
Gotcha.
Idaho and California all the time.
Mm.
Just like because I have family in Idaho, I have family in California, and we're right in the middle. So yeah, that's important to us. And we love hanging out with our friends. We're usually always going to their place. We don't normally have people over, and if we do, it's not very many.
Was that tough with a kid too? Like going to your friend's house? I don't know if like bedtimes and stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah, get a babysitter or something. But
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay, that works. I just remember when my friends didn't have kids and we would like go places with them. It was always like such a hassle. To, like,
Yeah,
get up,
yeah,
take them,
yeah.
and then have to be home by like 8 o'clock so they can put them in bed. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But
You don't just kennel them?
no,
Oh.
no, we just leave the truck running. Turn the AC on. Okay,
Parent
cool.
of the year.
Okay, if you could like paint me a picture of what this next house looks like. So you walk into it, how does it feel? What does it look like? What are some things that you're seeing?
Yeah, we'd like a backyard.
Okay.
I didn't even mention this. You're making me think a little bit more. We do have a dog too.
Okay. Oh, good to know. What kind of dog?
Yeah, we think he's a mini Labradoodle, but
Oh, nice. Okay.
we got him like for $200, and he was the first litter. And super super funny story, but anyways, we need to get a DNA test to figure out exactly what he is. But they told us he was a mini Labradoodle, but
Hey, it's better for a dog test than like a paternity test or something.
all right, right.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, that's
So,
good.
yeah,
So
like,
yard for the dog.
A backyard, and like we were talking about, more space. We don't have a garage or anything right now. We'd love.
You don't have any garage.
No.
Okay.
We'd love a 2-car garage minimum.
Okay. Why?
Well, we have 2 cars, so, but we have like a Jeep, and it's fun to like, when the weather's warmer, you just want to take off the doors, take off the top. It's
Yeah.
hard for us to put that anywhere when we live in a 1-bedroom apartment without a garage.
Well, where do you store it when you do take it off?
We store it in the stairwell at the apartment complex,
Wow.
just for a few hours.
So like,
Like-
somebody could take it theoretically.
Theoretically, in that few hours,
Oh
yeah,
my god, you're brave.
yeah,
Next time,
Those are
come drop
expensive.
it off at my
Yeah.
house, Chad.
yeah.
Quick tangent story. So my dad's friend, he had the top stolen off of his Jeep.
Oh man,
And so then he was like watching Craigslist and KSL and everything to
Uh-huh.
see when it came up. And
he found
Like
it.
a couple of weeks later, it popped
No.
up in Las Vegas and it was his exact one.
That's crazy.
So he drives down there, like messages the guy, hey, I want to come check this out. Sure, drives down there and he goes, wow, this is like just like the one I used to have. This is crazy. Like there was even a scratch right here too. Oh, hold on. I think I have the key for this. And he puts it in,
Oh my
unlocks it.
gosh.
And he says to the guy, You can either just let me take this right now, or I'm going to call the cops.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, take it.
That's freaking savage. Yeah. I mean, hopefully we don't end up in that situation. So yeah, we like a
hopefully not.
garage.
Okay.
And it sucks scraping the snow off your car during the winter.
Oh, you don't love that. I love that.
No.
Yeah, it's always a
good for
gamble, you know? Always a gamble. If you scrape too hard or the ice, you don't know where the windshield starts and the ice stops.
I'm gonna have to show you the blanket trick, Chad. You just throw a blanket over the front.
Oh, that's true.
That's true.
Just pour hot water on it, dude. It's way easier.
Yeah.
For anybody listening, don't do
tell my
that.
wife that. She might actually do that. But,
Say don't, Olivia, don't do it.
For those of you that are listening across the world in the United States, Utah gets cold.
It does
Very
get cold.
So you have 2 parking spots that they're outside, right? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're outside. One's covered, but I mean it doesn't,
Doesn't do much. Okay, one covered, one uncovered. Okay. And then does that make sense? Why the garage is important, especially with kids and a new baby, like in the wintertime, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Being able to go straight into the
hauling the kids up and down and the dog up and down the stairs to go to the bathroom, like garage, backyard. I'm happy,
Okay. That's good. Okay, so garage, backyard. What you mentioned the space, kitchen cabinets. We talked about that a little bit. Keep walking me through it. What else comes to mind when you're picturing Chad and Olivia's new home?
Yeah, I know for sure my wife is gonna want a good sized closet.
Okay, what constitutes a good size?
I mean a big.
Okay. Get specific with me. Walk in.
Definitely a walk in.
Okay, like how deep?
It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be crazy, big or like. I'm trying to think. I don't even know how big our current one is.
But you do have a walk-in right now.
Yeah.
It sounds like his idea of a big closet. It's a lot smaller than Olivia's.
Yes. Yeah. We'll have to run that one by her, but definitely a walk-in closet. And
describe to me how big your current one is.
It's probably when you open the door, it's probably like 3 feet, 4 feet deep. It's a good size rectangle and 5 or 6 feet wide.
Okay, so going from that, how much bigger do you think you would want?
Again, I think that's like we're fine with that now. Okay. Especially if we have other bedrooms, we can start throwing our kids' clothes somewhere else.
Your kids' clothes go in your guys' master closet?
We got a 1 bedroom.
I keep forgetting that. That's crazy. Okay, we can make it happen. It's just Okay, good to know.
Yeah, so I mean, I think something similar to that size, and then I'm sure that all other bedrooms are gonna have other closets, so we can spread out the space there.
Okay, sweet. Is there anything else that you think would be good for me to know as I start looking for homes for you?
We like a lot of natural light in windows.
Okay.
If possible.
Any particular reason why that's?
It just feels nice to have the sun come through and not just feel like you're trapped inside of a 1-bedroom apartment all day.
Do you have windows where you're at right now? I mean, I assume you have windows, but like how is the window situation there?
There's one big window in our bedroom, because you walk in and there's like the kitchen and then straight ahead, and then there's a door that has a window on it, like one of those rectangular doors with windows.
Oh yeah, like next to the door, like the long ones.
Yeah, there's one next to the door and there's one on the door.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's about it. I mean, I guess it's enough for that space, but I mean,
there's not a window in the kitchen or anything.
During the day, like you still need to have the lights on. Yeah.
No. Oh, interesting.
No, it's interior, so there's like no windows in the kitchen. So
okay.
During the day, you could have the blinds open, but you'd probably still want the lights on if you really want like a good amount of light in there. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So as it stands right now, if we can find something that has a 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms, a good sized kitchen, meaning like decent cabinet space, like I'll look at your cabinets and figure out how much space you need there. Natural light, that would check off the boxes that you're like the minimum, I should say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Don't forget the medium to large size closet.
Oh yeah, the closet. That's right.
Oh yeah, the closet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes,
Jared.
Thank you, Jared.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to start looking at some homes. I want to tell you a little bit about how things will work moving forward. So my job here is to go find you a home that meets this criteria. We're going to be looking at some stuff that's been around for a while. We'll be looking at possibly some like new construction stuff. Just because you mentioned earlier, like you want clean. I know you don't necessarily need new build, but if it's the same price and it's brand new, my personal opinion is it just makes more sense to go with something brand new. But we'll weigh all those options out as we go. I'm very big on expectations. So just so you know where I'm at, I am available whenever you need because I want to make sure you get the best experience possible. Now, that being said, Sundays is the only day that I'm not available. And then after 7 p.m. is family time. If it's truly an emergency, you can totally reach out. I'm always happy to help. But the reason I take time for myself and my family is because it'll help me be better when I am with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Cool.
I like it.
And then I will set up some alerts for you to get on homes that are popping up that are in the criteria that we're looking for. And then if you see something you like, let me know, and I can schedule a showing appointment for us. But yeah, I'm big on communication expectations. So if I'm not doing something that you are expecting, please let me know because I want to make sure I meet those expectations, and I'll be doing the same thing right back with you. Is that unreasonable?
No, that's perfectly reasonable.
Sweet.
All right. Well, hey, I mean, there you go, a live role playing there with Keagan and Chad, and that was 15 minutes.
Wow.
15 minutes of getting to know a client, and you'd be surprised how many real estate agents don't take the time to get to know their clients.
And how much that 15 minutes can benefit you and them in the whole home buying process as well.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's not for me, just based off the stuff you're seeing, like you've said, I can kind of picture what your house will look like. So like, as I'm looking through stuff, I'll be like, that one doesn't really fit. It could check off all the boxes, but I'm like, something doesn't feel right about this one. And as I'm narrowing down, hey, Chad, how's this one? Like, wow, that one's great.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
All right. Well, anything else when it comes to buyer's consultations? I mean, I know that this is probably one of the most important things that we do to build that trust within our clients when we're trying to get to know them. I mean, because how many times have we all gone out with clients and they said, well, I was working with an agent and they just never showed me anything that I like. And, it's just like, I feel like they weren't even listening. And the reality is they probably weren't listening.
no, because they just like, let's go check out some homes.
Yeah. They're so excited about that. And, my wife would always tell me this when I started in real estate. And when she was running the team, I mean, she would always say, are you putting the commission before the client?
Yeah, that's a huge deal, especially in real estate.
Yeah. And I always remember that now because I have found that the more I take care of my clients, the commissions will follow. But if we're putting the commissions before the clients, they're going to feel
it. Yeah, they can feel it. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and another thing, when you talk about trust, it made me think about, there's a quote that you say that I really love. And you said, it's something like, he who asks the questions controls the conversation. Like, you're the one that said that to me. I don't know if you remember saying that.
Yep.
I don't know where it's
so that was actually taught to me by one of our mentors and coaches, Phil Jones.
Nice.
If you haven't read his book, Exactly What to Say, it is phenomenal and it is a lifesaver for real estate agents. But he will always tell you that the person that is asking the questions is controlling the conversation.
And I agree with that 100%. But like talking about trust too, along with that, when you are asking questions and it's genuine, trying to get to know this person, they don't feel like you're trying to sell them anything or do anything. Yeah. And if you're asking those right questions, right? So I think that's the fastest way to build trust is by asking good questions.
I mean, you're a good example of this. I have some other like family friends and people that I have come across that I have noticed, like I will have a, hour plus long conversation with them. And when I look back at that conversation, I realize they're just asking me a lot of questions, but I feel so like loved and wanted and important to them because everything they're doing is like, well, tell me more about this or tell me about this or man, that's an incredible job. How did you get that? Or, like they're constantly asking me questions. And I mean, I wish I would have known this sooner, but the more I reflect back on that and I start to work on my skills, I realize like, holy cow, they're just asking questions. They're just getting to know me. Like, what have I been doing?
Yeah.
I mean, let's just face it. Like, guilty. I mean, like, and I have realized that when I am not asking those questions and I'm not engaged with them, most likely I can't even remember their name. And I'm usually saying, remind me of your name one more time.
Samsonite.
Samsonite, I was way off. But I've noticed that the more I engage with them and the more I ask them questions and the more I'm getting I have to listen when I say, tell me more about that. Or, you say a larger closet, can you expand upon that? Why do you need a larger closet? Like, what is, what is the reason for you to want a larger closet? Like, oh my goodness, like maybe it's Chad, like Olivia's just got all of her clothes in there and I have to, like, my clothes are out in the other bedroom, or I get a little section of a drawer over here because she has all the space for her clothes and I really want some space for my clothes.
Yeah. Well, like saying my baby's clothes are in there too, that's not something I've ever had to deal with, because the first house we bought had a tiny little closet, but we didn't have kids.
Yeah.
The next house we bought had multiple bedrooms.
Yeah.
So like, that's why it almost shocked me. And I think that's one thing that helped me understand your situation better. I imagine myself, shoot, if I was in a room with my clothes, my wife's clothes, and my kids' clothes, that would feel pretty tight.
Yeah.
So then keeping that in mind now as I'm looking for homes for you, it's like, oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the other thing too, when you're talking about, Jared, people asking you questions a lot, that makes me think of in How to Win Friends and Influence People. The gist of one of the chapters is people love to hear themselves talk.
Absolutely.
They love to hear their own voice. And the most likable people are the ones that don't really speak very much. Mm-hmm. If you think of someone who you like a lot, and you think if you take some time to like meditate or like, okay, how much talking do I do versus that person? If you do more talking, you realize, oh, that's why I probably like them too, is because they're just good listeners.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So I think this was really good. Any final words?
I just want to say, on top of all that, leave something behind with the client, right? You done your buyer's consultation. All right, let's get the next appointment going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's with a lender or it's, okay, like one thing I like to do is I like pulling up everything that matches their criteria, everything we talked about in that conversation. I share it on the big screen with them, all their options. I say, hey, not sure if all these will be the right fit for you, or not sure if any of these homes are for you, as Phil Jones would say. Mm-hmm. But here's what's matching your criteria that's on the market right now. Do any of these in particular excite you? Let's schedule a showing. Let's go. And then let's get
always have something.
Yeah.
And I've learned this because I'm guilty of it. But how many times have we been on the phone and we say, we have a good conversation with them and like, perfect. Well, I'm going to send you some homes and you just like let me know if you want to go look at them. Yeah. I mean, you just gave them
free reign,
like the free reign to control everything. Like, and so leaving it off with a conversation. The person with the conversation controls. The person with the question controls the conversation.
Yeah.
You're immediately asking them, like, okay, how does this sound? Like, perfect. We really love these homes. Like, awesome. I'd love to come show you some of those. When would work for you? Yeah. And another thing my wife has taught me is not that we're going to treat them as children, as in but it's just a saying that with our kids, and you'll understand this, Chad and Chaz, Keagan too, actually, you guys all got little kids, is you never ask a kid what they want to do, like chore-wise. You never want to say,
an option.
You never want to say, well, what chore do you want to do today? They're going to say nothing. But if you say you can either do the bathroom or the kitchen, which one would you like? So it's the same thing with our clients. Like, I've got availability on Wednesday at 5:00 or Thursday at 7. Which one works best for you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do the same thing when I'm like working for a builder. I could have 30 townhomes available. I'll give them 2, maybe 3.
Yep.
Hey, these ones fit your criteria. Which one of these do you want? It's just a choice complex, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think the last thing I would probably say, just like closing this out, as I would say, just reiterating, when you're doing your buyer consultation or your discovery, whatever you want to call it, just make sure it's genuine and and forget the selling aspect of it. Just get to know that person, and it'll all go way smoother than if you were to go the other way.
Well said.
I like it.
We really appreciate you, Keagan.
Thank you, Keagan.
And I mean, as always, like I said, I mean, Keagan is our go-to when it comes to new builds, and he is phenomenal at it. So whenever I have a client that's saying that I want something new and I want some new builds and I want them in these areas, first thing I always do, Keagan, what do you got in these areas? Do you have any quick move-ins? Yeah. What do you got? And, you know, I'm not the only one that does this. I'm not the only real estate agent, and he has built a reputation of supporting real estate agents out there. And yeah, want to thank you for being here. And again, if you know, we are Infinite Real Estate. We are in the Own It podcast. I like saying that. No, but if you're a real estate agent and you are stuck in the business, or you feel like you're not going anywhere, or you feel like you're in a rut, give us a call. I mean, this is something that we love doing. The educating and the teaching and the role playing, building people up is what brings me joy in my career. And I know that everybody that I surround myself with feels the same way. If we're not all winning, we're not winning. And so I want to invite you guys, if you're looking to make a switch or seeing how we can help you, even if we can just give you some advice, we would love to have you reach out and do that for you. And yeah, if you're a client looking to buy a home, like, I'd love to talk to you. And maybe this is a new podcast, but we would love to talk about why now is probably the best time in the next 5 years to be buying a home.
Thank you, Jared.
All right,
Thank you,
Infinite
boys.
Real Estate Group signing out.